So the police officer that was just here, they just drove off. Was just here, refused to give me information about anything I asked, and then drove off. So and this woman is just staring at me, and I think these people want to take it to whatever level that they normally take it to with people who refuse to be gay or don't want to be a part of the community of gay people. So these cops decided to show up. 4 cops that decided to show up and ask me, use police intimidation to harass me and convince me that I'm the bad person. The question I asked the police officer repeatedly before Twitch cut me off was whether or not the police believe that whether or not police officers believe that it's appropriate that there's anyone in the community requesting help from police officers and over a year-long period, and if he was aware of anything like that. And he kept telling me that there is no way for them to answer. He couldn't answer the question. But the truth is, it's not impossible to it's not impossible to it's not impossible it's not impossible to for me to ask that question without giving the police officer my name, which is inappropriate. You shouldn't have to the officer shouldn't have to ask you what your name is to answer your question about whether or not there is someone or anyone in the community requesting assistance or has requested assistance about being harassed in the community. He said he told me that they get many claims of harassment every day, and he also told me, but he didn't tell me if anyone had been making the same claims for years. So I'm going to post that on the internet, and post this on the internet. He said you're free to post anything you want on the internet and keep it moving. But yeah, somebody's using technology to make my legs weak, like make my legs weak. So as I walked away from where I last spoke to the police officers, there is technology inside my body that can make my legs feel weaker than they should. So it's like I'm sure you people know what I'm talking about. Your legs feel weak. You have a well, it doesn't happen naturally. I mean, it shouldn't unless you're in fear. You're afraid of something, and I guess people watching me using this technology is want me to feel afraid for your life, because these police officers could have done something to you, could have shot you, could have arrested you. You feel like you have no power. So they decided to make my legs weak, but I didn't think those thoughts, so my legs shouldn't feel as weak, or wouldn't normally feel that weak. But yeah, so I reported that. Well, I don't know what else to do besides post this on social media. You know, whenever I see a police officer, I think that's what I'm going to start doing, because they feel like they're capable of breaking rules. So that's what I just went. I mean, that's what just happened. So some cop was driving down here real slow, stopped here, and he asked me if everything was okay. But behind my back, there was like 2 cops there, 2 squad cars there, and another squad police car over there. And he said that the reason that we showed up was that somebody told us there's a man leaning against the car and swearing, which is a lie. Well, it wasn't the whole story. There was a guy in the car and his kid right there who I forgot the license plate number. It was a Minnesota plate with a red SUV Minnesota vehicle with with a man and his child. And Dwayne Johnson was asking me a question. He said, how do you feel now that you walked out of the gym, and after a year of not being able to use the gym, how do you feel about turning your key in to people? Turning your key in and not finishing any lifts or not working out for that entire year? And I told him it was because of the technology you put in my body that prevented me from being able to lift those weights. And then he said, then Dwayne said, well, that's my accomplishment, and I'm happy. I'm actually really happy that you weren't able to lift weights, because Dwayne Johnson is gay, and he wouldn't want someone who isn't gay to be able to lift weights. And so he's happy that the technology in my body prevented me from lifting weights. And he said it was an accomplishment. I told him it was someone's accomplishment, not his. And he said, I count it as my own. I'm part of the gay community. The person who invented the technology in your body is also gay, so it's our accomplishment. I said, and then he asked me again, the conversation went elsewhere. And then he asked me again to go back to how far do I believe I would have gone after a year. And I told him I probably would have lifted over 600, 700, 800 pound bench press, large deadlift, large squats. Great. Adrian Peterson asked me, how about your cardio? Or somebody asked me, how would your cardio be? And I told him my cardio would have been great. And the dude in the car over here said out loud, you would still be gay. No, you would be gay. What did he say? He said something like that. Oh yeah, he said you would still be gay. After a year of doing all that lifting, he wanted me to know that you would still be gay. And then he looked back at me, got back in his car, and sat down in his car for 10 minutes. And I guess during that time, he was calling the police and telling them that I told him to go fuck himself. And then he drove off. But he forgot to tell the police officers that he said you would still be gay before he drove off. So I was sitting here, the car was right there, the dude overheard me, or whatever the comment, whatever the reason was that he, overheard me. However you want to, I don't know how you want to explain that, but he overheard me, and then he made that comment and drove off, and then told police officers I told him to go fuck himself. And he basically lied. He basically made that statement to give the police enough reason to make an arrest. And they showed up with 4 different cops and drove off. And then some dude yelled at me and said that I was harassing police officers and blocking him from leaving. But the truth is the dude was, it's not harassment to ask police officers questions, and you can't really be mad that somebody at any moment decided to talk to police officers in front of your vehicle. That's one chance. That's like a time in your life that you can't. There's not much you could do, right? There's not much you can do when there's someone talking to police officers and asking them questions. So it's not a moment to have a get angry at the person asking questions. It's a moment that you have to take in your life that stops you from being able to, stops you from moving, stops you from leaving, stops you from going anywhere, because there's a problem. Obviously there is a problem that involves police, and that makes you put your life on pause. So the guy, because he had to leave, because he felt like the questions I was asking the police officer in the last video, my last video I posted, because he felt like the questions I was asking the police officer in the last video I posted felt like it was irrelevant, or it wasn't important to him, or that I was harassing that officer because I wanted to know what his who he was, what his badge number was, and if there's any questions about harassment in the community, any harassment reports in the community. And the guy stepped in, said out loud, "You are lying. You are lying, or you are harassing the cop. The only person doing the harassment right now is you harassing the police officer," which is either it's an outrageous claim. I'm sure you guys are watching the video and thinking, at what point did you harass the officer? And the answer is, there wasn't one. There wasn't a point in that video that I harassed that I was harassing the officer. So I there was no point in the video that I was harassing the officer. They were refusing to answer the questions I had to ask. I asked. Because there's no, they're trying to hide the fact that, one, they know exactly who I am. Two, they refuse to believe that their existence, the existence of harassment from the LGBTQ community. Like, it's impossible for anyone in the LGBTQ community to harass anyone else. And the claim of that they call it a mental health problem. And I believe the officers were taking advantage of the fact that people find ways to protect themselves from that people find ways to keep someone from reporting that harassment by teaching them, if you do, it's called mental health crisis, and those people stop reporting that harassment because the only response is that you have a problem and no one else is harassing you. So that officer tried to use that tactic, that mentality on me. And the person in the car tried to do the same thing, like tried to claim that I was the one harassing him and no one else could possibly be doing any harassment in this community. And I don't believe that. I firmly am aware that the history of that in our society, all groups of people, all people harass each other if they don't like each other. If they don't like you, they'll find a way to harass you. They'll pick on you. They'll bully you. They'll say mean things to you. They call you names. And it's not only people making like slurs, racial slurs, homophobic slurs, or anything. It's all people. I mean, it's not just one group of people doing that. It's all people. So I'm claiming that I'm not. I'm stating that I'm not gay, and because of that, the people who claim they are, or use harassment. They harass straight people. So it's not just a one-way road here. There's harassment going on both ways. And these people break rules. They break laws. I think they're players in this game of harassment, if you know what I mean. Like this game we like to play, harassing each other and getting away with it. I think there are people on both sides who either break rules or break laws to do that harassment. And it's like, how much are you willing to do? And I think because I refuse to do any of that harassment to any group of people. It's become a, what do you call it? It turns into a Obama is trying to tell me it's a he say she say. But the truth is, all people harass people, and no one's going to believe that there's any group of people in this world, in our society, that wouldn't harass another group of people if they did not like them. So I firmly don't agree with what Obama just told me in my ear, and I know for a fact that people in our community have or in the gay community harass other people for any reason, for many different reasons, and they get away with it, or they use. Oh, they're willing to break rules. I'm sorry. They're willing to break more rules than anybody else, than any other group of people, because they're. So Obama just told me to say they're campaigning. They're campaigning to take control of society, not government, but like social norms, right? What's acceptable and what's unacceptable. Like what you see in the news, where people believe that it's okay for children to go to school and tell everybody that they're gay, or it's important to be able to do that. And some people believe the opposite. Like, you should only be able to say the things, you shouldn't have to, right? You shouldn't have to tell people that you are gay. And that's the argument, right? That's the argument in Florida, the Don't Say Gay bill. Right, you shouldn't have to tell everyone that you're gay or promote it. It's not wrong or illegal, but nobody else is doing that, because it's almost an attempt to convince or persuade other people to. It's like a promotion, a campaign, or to get other people to be like you. And that's the problem. That's the danger, right? That's the unfair. That's what makes it unfair, because some people want to be themselves. just like you. You want to be yourself, and they want to be themselves, and they don't want anyone interfering with their attempts or their desires to be themselves. So, like I said, like I was saying, those people want to break the rules, and it's a matter of control, a control over the normal things that are acceptable in our community, and that's the fight that's going on. So these people are trying to lie, trying to have me arrested for responding to their harassment. So telling me that I would still be gay a year after doing all that weightlifting is harassment. That's sexual harassment. And that dude called the police and lied to them and told them that I made a comment to him for no reason. Basically for no reason, because he didn't include the fact that he told me that I'd still be gay. And then drove off. So the guy, I'm black. I am a African American male. So if police officers showed up and tried to arrest me, or said something to me, or did something to me, that would be a criminal. And I'm on probation, so it would be criminal for the officer to accuse me of or arrest me for making a response, a legal response to somebody, or First Amendment right to say go F yourself to somebody because they made an outrageous comment to you, and then stared at you, and like they wanted to an altercation. So this entire time, I was standing behind my car. I had just gone to Anytime Fitness to turn my key in today. So today I turned my key in, the little key we get to Anytime Fitness, and to report that to give it to them, right? Because I'm done. My year is up. And and as I sat out here to figure out what I was gonna do, I sat out here to figure out where I was gonna go next, which is I gotta get gas in my car, and I gotta go to a Chrysler in Madison to figure out what's wrong with my multifunctional switch in my car. I got car shield, so I think that what I gotta do is go to the shop, and they'll take care of it. I'm gonna go find out how car shield works, and see if I can get my car fixed. But yeah, like I was saying, the police officer, when the police officer showed up, it's usually because the person that was in the car, the person that was in that car right there, was probably in the gay community, and the police officer who probably knew John Lattimore, was standing right here, was the guy they were calling about. And they decided to show up because they already knew I was standing right here, that I was sitting right here, standing right here. That they decided to show up and slowly drive down this road and ask me if I was okay. When the real problem is the people who are walking past you, telling you, making comments at you. And that's the real problem. But someone is telling me that there's a larger problem. Well, the biggest problem is that there are too many people who don't like you, or there is too many people who are willing to tell you to be gay, or you're still gay, or to do these things to you, and we can't police that. So the easiest thing for us to do as police officers is to take you and arrest you for the things that you did, so that no one else has your problem. We don't have this problem anymore, because you're the person it's harder to police any of your reports, right? We can't arrest every single person that tells you to be gay or harasses you as they walk past you. We can't police that. We can't police the technology in your body. We can't police that you find jobs and these people fire you at these jobs, or lay you off and claim it's a layoff, and tell you that it's because we don't have any work left. We can't do anything about that. But what we can do is arrest you for anything you decide to do. Any attitude you have, any aggression, any violence, anything that you do in response to the comments people make, we can police you. We can't police them. And that's what these officers tried to do. They tried to drive by here and police the person that isn't the problem. Police the guy who's been claiming he's been harassed in the community. And these five officers. I'm sorry, 5 officers. There was an officer who drove past me, and then there was 2 officers over there, and there was another officer down there. I'm sorry, that's 4. That's 4 police officers. So that's how this community of these LGBT community is treating me, because I refuse to have sex with them. So they tell me I'm gay, or they tell me I'd still be gay no matter what exercise I did or whatever I wanted to do in life. They tell me that I would still be gay. And they drive by, and if I tell them to go fuck themselves, which I know it's a First Amendment right, they'll just call the police and tell them I said that. And then if those police officers, if there's enough police officers on the video, on camera, or who know where I am or have this same technology in their body, they will show up and they will try to arrest me. They will try to get an altercation to take place and have me arrested. Or to remove someone just told me to say it's the easiest way to deal with your problem, John. It's the easiest way to deal with your problem is by having you arrested for whatever you do to someone because they made complaints, because they don't like you. Because there are too many people, there's an entire community of people that don't like you. And because of that, we can't do anything. We cannot go after all these people. And I think the people who put this technology in my body, who made this choice to harass me and torture me with technology, these people decided that I would have to be okay, so those guys over there just were staring at me, and then when I turned the camera, they stopped looking. But yeah, and they just use technology to stop me from remembering what I was just saying. They just wiped my memory. It's possible. They press a button, and they say they can wipe the last 10, 20 seconds from your memory. I guess there's a short-term memory and long-term memory that they can wipe. So your short-term memory can be wiped with technology. You can electrocute the area of your brain that has short-term memory, and it will completely wipe that area. So whatever you were just talking about, you'll forget about it until they allow you to remember. So like I was saying, and they're real picky about appearances. They say if you're not that attractive, nobody will ever care about what you say or the problems you're having. So they prefer pretty people to have those problems or to police or to help people who are attractive. And because you're unattractive and nobody wants to have sex with you, they firmly believe that you are the problem. That you are we'd rather not help you. So yeah, Scarlett Johansson is flashing her image in front of me and telling me that because you aren't attractive, or you should flip the camera back on you and show people how unattractive you are. And she said that, and she's trying to make fun of me because I'm not attractive as she is, or the people she hangs out with. And she's saying that to make me feel bad or to hurt my feelings, and to point out the truth that these people, there are socialists in our society who firmly believe if you're not attractive, nobody wants to hang out with you, no one wants to be around you, and you're only good for your usefulness. Only goes as far as your appearance. And I know a lot of people who will watch this video, whoever see this video, would agree that there are people who believe that. And I am telling you that some of the people I've been talking about believe what I just said. And they use police officers, right? They use people in their community that grew up and turned into police officers to do what I just said. They use police officers to enforce their ideas because they can hide themselves behind legally hide behind the badge to do whatever the hell they want to do. And that's fear. That's intimidation. But I guess I'm willing to not be gay so much that I'm willing to get killed for it. I'm willing to die to not be gay. no matter how much technology they use, no matter how much intimidation they use, no matter how well they can break the rules or break the law and get away with it, I'm still willing to not be gay and maybe die from either police shooting me or police officers using, I don't know, psychology, I don't know, defensive, like pre-prepped defenses to keep themselves from getting in trouble, or keep themselves from being keep themselves from me, you know, like people who interfered with the questions I asked the police officers, like the guy who interfered with the questions I had for the police officers. I believe they have prep defenses. So before that police officer made an interaction with me, I turned my camera on, right? And then he drove away. He refused to be on camera. He refused. He absolutely refused to be on camera. And it was like they were trying to use intimidation to scare me into not making comments to people who are in the gay community. Like, if I believe that the guy who heard me to tell him to go fuck himself was going to do something to me, he was going to use the police officers to do whatever it is he felt like doing to me. And that's what was going to happen. He was going to use the police officers to do something to me, instead of him who the people in the gay community believe that no one should ever disrespect them because they have sex with men. They have sex with men, so that puts them at a higher power or a higher status than guys who don't. So they believe they're on top. And that's what I've been taught. That's what someone's been telling me, like Dwayne Johnson. He believes that because he chose to be gay, he's on top of anyone who chose not to be. He's better. He's more of a man. He's all these things that people would never believe. He is, because he chose to be gay. And that's what that guy in that car believed. That he believed that because he was gay or because he was white, which is hiding your sexism. And I mentioned this before. People can hide their sexism with racism. So he's just gonna lie and say that it was because I believe that someone's telling me to say it's because he's white, dude. He believes he's better than you. But truly, it's hard to imagine any way that someone could believe that they're better than you because of the color of their skin. Now it's because they use a more logical reasoning to it's not logical at all, but it's more logical. That because they have sex with men, they're better than guys who don't, and that's what that guy wanted me to believe. He wanted me to believe that because he refuses to be, because I'm not gay, he's saying that I will call the police and they will respond and do something to you because I'm a white American. But that's not true. That is irrelevant. He knows well enough that black people aren't. Or he's living in an imaginary world where white people are more like naturally better than any other person in our community, any other race of people. But that's a lie, because these people are willing to think differently if you are willing to have sex with them. So this guy is willing to think differently if I or anyone else like me is willing to have sex with him. And that's what he wanted to teach me. He wanted to teach me that, like, I'm better than you. I can have the police come over here and do something to you, and you can't have the police officers do anything for you, which is why they refuse to answer my questions. Like, they refuse to answer my questions because they believe that there are people who are better, a higher society than me. And someone is telling me it's because you're a convicted felon, that you are beneath these people. They're going to lie and say it's because you're a convicted felon or because you're black. And that's the reason why these people feel like they're better than you. But the truth is, these people want to have sex with you because they chose to be gay. And they believe that because of that, anyone who chose not to be is worse than them or less than them. And that's what I'm learning. That's what I just learned. That's what I just learned. And I'm trying to tell people this, and I keep asking for help. In all my videos, I constantly ask people for help. Not mental help, but legal help, or telling people, to be able to tell people that this is happening, and for someone to make the same or make a comment back to acknowledgement. I guess at the very least, I guess it took me a while last time to figure out what I want from all of this, or what's the least that could happen for you, for me. What's the least thing that could be helpful for me is someone acknowledging that this problem is taking place. This problem is a problem. There is harassment from the LGBTQ community towards people who aren't like them. And it could be in any corner of the country, right? It could be taking place in any high school, any middle school, any community in this country where there's someone in the LGBTQ community who is willing to harass anyone who isn't like them. They believe they're superior, and because of that, they find it gives them the reasoning to make that harassment, to harass people. I'm trying to talk to you guys, but it's hard because these people are using technology to stop me from thinking like I normally would, and to make me say the words that they want me to say. So it's why I'm trouble talking to you. But what else would I say? Scarlett Johansson wants me to turn the camera back to myself while I speak. So what else was there? So those cops showed up and made those comments that they made, and I tried to catch them on camera. I really, really tried to catch them on camera, but I couldn't. I couldn't catch them as he drove away. They drove away pretty fast. They got out of there pretty fast, and I think they tried to avoid letting me ask them any questions, because the real problem isn't the comments I make, isn't the exercising my amendments. The real problem is that there are people who are, as a group, choosing to harass people who aren't like them. And no one else would do that because no one else believes in it. No one else believes that it's okay to do that. And they call those people weak. Obama just told me those people are weak. People who choose not to exercise or fight for themselves are weak. And that's what he was telling me. That's what Barack Obama and a bunch of other guys like him were telling me. They believe that people who refuse to exercise higher freedom, right? That take liberties, and try to promote themselves in any way, are weak. And I don't agree. I mean, there's no reason to do that unless you're trying to make someone else like you, right? There's no reason to exercise any freedoms greater than the ones given to you by the United States of America unless you are trying to get someone to be like you. And those are the liberties that the LGBTQ community has taken towards me to get me to be like them. And that's what I've been telling people, and that's what I've been asking for help. I've been telling as many people as I can for help, asking for help. I'm tired of people flashing their high beams at me. I'm tired of driving places and all I see are cars turning really fast or turning slowly and waiting for me to get to an intersection to flash their high beams. And I'm asking police for help. I've asked so many people for help. And someone is telling me you should get tired of that and take action, take your own action. I think it was Scarlett Johansson, or her face showed up in my eyes, like behind my eyes, and not behind my eyes, like on my eyelid. And some man was talking, but they were telling me that you should take actions for yourself and fight for yourself. And that's what you get on the news. That's what you get, like the violent people on the news. That's the only time they respond, right? They respond to get you, the one person that's creating the problem because you don't want to have sex with these people, or making, it's not, you're not creating a problem, but the problem exists because you refuse to have sex with these people. And they believe that the only way to solve it is by you doing something about it, and then us responding to any violent actions you take. And I think that's how the mass shooters take place. I think there are people in our community who harass people and do things to people, and their response is to be violent. And that's when we get the news media outlets that this person did something that's crazy, is violent, and there's nothing we could do about it. How do we get this to stop? But the truth is, you got to stop harassing people, using groups of people to harass anyone, and choosing to not address that issue, and choosing to not address the issue of the group harassment. And some psychologist is in my ear telling me that there's a name for that. It's a mental disorder called gang stalking. But I think it's also a mental disorder to deny that there's any one person capable of harassing any other person. I think that's a mental disorder. Harassment is real, is possible, and is capable of being done. Groups of people are capable of doing that same thing. It's called group violence, and it's possible. And the person making that claiming that he's being harassed by someone, is not made up. It's real. It's true, and it's possible. It's possible. And I think the larger issue is that harassment needs to be addressed. And there's people who ignore it. People are part of it. Those people are willing to be a part of it. So you got to ask yourselves: do any of you believe? Would any of you believe it is possible? It is possible that someone who makes these claims is telling you that something that is real, something that is honest, and something that they want to have someone to help them stop. And that's what I've been telling people on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook before they cut me off. They cut me off Facebook. The police department, the Madison Police Department, got mad because I was posting videos of them breaking the rules, breaking the law, and using intimidation, or being the force behind the LGBTQ community's ideal world, right? To create that ideal world, that LGBT community force is police officers, because they can get away with crimes that no one else can get away with. They can shoot people, they can arrest people, they can abuse people, they can hurt people, and the only thing that someone can do to stop that is be arrested or make a complaint about it. So I'm taking to social media and I'm making that complaint. I'm telling people that there is a issue in my community that's happening to me. And if you have any, I appreciate that. Lurking Lambs, I appreciate that. I don't know. The help you can give is acknowledgement, or telling people that there's a guy in Madison, Wisconsin, who is asking Madison Police Department for help for over 5 years. I've been asking the Madison Police Department for help and the police department for help for 5 years to deal with the harassment from the gay community that I've been dealing with. They really are trying to get me to be gay, and I've been reporting it, and no one's been doing anything about it. So if you can tell people, that would be great. If you can ask people what they would do and comment more or message me, if you can acknowledge that this is be supportive with a supportive acknowledgement that you personally have experienced the same kind of harassment in your life, or know someone who claimed to have the same harassment, that would be helpful. That would mean a lot to me. And then you can ask your friends too to make that same comment on my page, and we can start getting these people who use their power to force other people to be, or to promote, to enforce their ideology, illegal ideology not illegal, but their ideology, their agenda, their culture, force their culture on other people who don't want to be a part of their culture. And I have been asking police to stop that, to stop people from forcing their culture on me. And I know it's hard to believe that it's possible, but it's real, and that's what happens to people all across the country, but nobody has any way to report it, right? That's the problem. There's no way to report this problem to people across, and to police officers, to to get legal help or lawful help, and not someone just told me to say lawful. But to get any help whatsoever. I guess the big idea is to acknowledge the problem and tell people that you're having a problem, and waiting and seeing if someone was willing to help you at any point. And that's what I'm asking for. And I'm using this social media to tell as many people as I possibly can. I plan on telling as much as I can that there are people who have this technology in their bodies, who know where I am or can say things to me and get away with it, and create that world, that hostile environment right where I'm standing, right? So for example, somebody over there could be could be yelling out, you're a rapist or you're gay at a distance. And that's harassment. That if they see you or they know you're there and they have the same technology in your body, that creates a hostile environment. And these police officers are telling me there's nothing we can do about that. They're telling me in my ear right now that there is absolutely nothing we can do about that. Thank you. Thank you. These police officers are telling me that there's nothing we can do about someone making a comment to you. There's absolutely nothing. There's no environment that we can put you in to protect you from this level of harassment. The technology they're using is equally illegal and harassing. So I don't want to hear hear them talking to me in my ear. And if someone put technology in my freaking ear to let them talk to me 24 hours a day whenever they want to. And I don't want to hear these police officers tell me things that I don't want to hear. They're talking to me right now, telling me things and flashing images in front of my eyes. And I'm telling these people I don't want to hear it. They're trying to figure out a way to have me arrested or kill me. They're telling me right now, we want to try to kill you. We're trying to find someone who is willing to drive where you are and kill you because you won't stop telling people about the technology we put in your body. And I'm just going to keep reporting it. I'm going to keep reporting this problem until somebody chooses to help me. Until some law official, some politician, some lawyer, the president of the United States, the former presidents of the United States who have the same technology in their bodies choose to do something about it. Barack Obama has this technology in his body. And he just told me he's going to deny it. He's going to lie and say, I don't have anything that man has in his body. And I don't believe he has anything in his body either. But the things I described are possible. And someone's going to ask the question, the first question they're going to ask, is it possible? Is this technology possible to put in somebody's body? And someone's going to answer, yes, it is possible to put technology in people's bodies without them knowing. And the idea is that the idea that woman over there, the girl over there, says you're still a rapist or some crap like that. And she said, stop being a rapist, and we'll stop torturing you. And I'm not raping anybody. So the idea is that they're going to lie and say there's no such thing, there's no way to put technology in a person's body the way you describe it. But the smartest person, the guy in the room who wants to find out, will ask the simplest question. Is it possible to put this technology in someone's body, and is it possible to make these things happen? And the second smartest person in the room, or they're going to find the second smartest person in the room to answer that question. And I think that person is going to say yes. I think that person is going to say yes. The things he described it's possible to happen. It is possible to do this to someone. And then they're going to try to look for this technology. They're going to figure out where and how they would do it and look for the technology in that person's body. And Obama's like, I'm not going to help, and I'm going to deny. He just told me I'm going to deny that this technology is in my body. If anybody asks me a question about this technology, I'm going to deny it. That's what he just told me. He just told me that. And I in my ear. And they do it to people who they want to grow up to be gay. It's like we'll give you technology if you choose to have sex with men. So their main goal is to get guys to have anal sex, and if you choose to have anal sex, they will choose to grow your penis, which is attractive to women. And there's technology in my body that can enlarge my genitals. And they've been, for like the last year and a half, the last 3 years, have been playing with my genitals, electrocuting my genitals, like the tip of my genital area to burn, like burning a hole in like the one spot where you use to have sex, to have sex in that one spot on your penis. they have been burning a hole there with technology. And they say that if I choose to have sex with men or let a guy have sex with me, the larger his penis is, the larger they will grow my penis. And then they will allow me to have sex with women. But until that happens, they won't allow that to happen. So Obama's telling me that his penis was grown naturally, and that he'll deny that there's any technology inside of his body. And I don't care, because someone else is going to answer that question as well. Is it possible for this to happen? Is it possible for someone to grow someone's penis using technology? Someone told me it's called increased blood flow. So they increase the blood flow to your penis, and they can enlarge it. They can enlarge your genitals. And that's what someone just told me, that that's how it's done. And then they can electrocute the area around your anus, like your sphincter, to stop you from taking a poop, to stop you from doing anything, to play with your muscles around your anus. If they electrocute your anus, it moves. It will move. Your anus will move or close or open, whatever they want to happen to your anus. And then your lungs, they can squeeze your lungs and make it hard for you to breathe. They can squeeze your heart and make it beat faster or beat slower. And all this is done with technology. And that's what I've been telling people. They can make you pass out somehow. I don't know. They can paralyze you with this technology. They can electrocute you, like your ears feel like you're actually being electrocuted. They can burn your ear canal. They can make your ears twitch. So if you electrocute someone's ears, you can make their ears move. So you can move somebody's ears with technology inside their bodies. So they like flap, or they stick to their skulls, the side of their heads, and they can make your tongue stick out. They can do a lot of things to you with technology, and I'm telling people, as many people as I can, that this technology is inside my body. And they're thinking of ways. They're telling me right now they're thinking of ways to have me killed. Obama keeps saying that he's trying to find out how I can have you arrested or killed for telling, or for trying to tell. And there are people driving past me smiling, and I think those people believe in this technology. They believe in it because it helps them stop African Americans or people they don't believe are are worth as much as they are, to have the best things in life. So this technology can slow down your thoughts, slow down your ability to do anything, and it can make you be perceived as a lot of different things. And so they're trying to stop. They like it. There are people in the world who like this technology, and there are people in the world who don't like it. And those people who like it are the ones who are given the power to decide how things go in the world. And that's the problem. And the people who don't like it are fighting to get them to stop using this technology in our body, keep this technology out of our bodies. But my battery's about to die. I gotta go. Lurking Lambs, if you know people, show this video to them. Tell as many people as you can, and that's the only way I'm gonna get the help, or the legal help, or the lawful help I can get. And and acknowledgement. Tell history, stories. Find out stories like the ones I'm talking about, and tell as many people as you can. That's what I'm doing.